Hello and welcome to Ashton's Wrestling Take. Now, I decided to start a YouTube channel because I recently went to AEW All In this weekend and I was blown away by it. It was my first time going to a pay-per-view. Maybe that's the same for a lot of people in Britain. I'm British. Maybe that's the same for a lot of people. So I just thought it was amazing, and I just thought, wow, 80,000 wrestling fans. And I don't know about you, but when I'm, living my daily life, living my life, I don't bump into any wrestling fans. I had a lot of wrestling fans growing up. I had a lot of friends who were wrestling fans growing up. But then they decided, it wasn't for them anymore. A lot of my friends dropped off, during high school, and they decided it just wasn't there for them. And I have watched it religiously since 2005, maybe. Just so you know, for anyone watching, I guess I'm a part of the era that's just after the Attitude Era. So a lot of people, talk about the glory days of the Attitude Era. I technically didn't grow up on the Attitude Era. I grew up in the Ruthless Aggression Era, going into the PG era, which wasn't the best era, but I got through it all. And a lot of my time during secondary school, it was the PG era. But I kept on watching. But anyway, what I was trying to say is, I don't have many wrestling friends who are, listen, I'm getting my tongues twizzled. I don't have any friends who are wrestling fans, like die-hard wrestling fans. So I don't really have an outlet. So I just thought, why don't I just make this channel? Why don't I just make a channel and see how I get on? So that's what I'm going to do. And because I saw so many fans, I thought, there are fans out there, and I know you've got the channels of Cultaholic and Wrestle Talk and What Culture. So, obviously there are channels out there, and I do not expect to be anything like those channels. This is not what it's about. It's just for me to have an outlet, and hopefully I can start to build a community and have people to talk to about this stuff. Because there are many people to talk to. So anyway, that's me. I guess we could talk about All In. So all in was amazing. So I went on Sunday, and this is what I mean. I went on my own. I know. But I thought, I can't miss out on this opportunity. And my mates who do like wrestling, and I've watched wrestling with them. One was up in a different country working, and the other one's just had a kid. So it just wasn't the right time, and I was like, I can't not go. So I just thought, I've got to go. So let's go through the match card, I guess, and I'll just talk about how I felt about it. Obviously, I know about the CM Punk news, which, I guess my thoughts are on CM Punk is he's great, isn't he? And I know there's a rivalry. And also, before we carry on, I'm not doing very well in my introductions, but I just want this to be a free-flowing thing. I know that there's tribalism. If you say anything good about WWE, then that means that you hate AEW, which is not true. I will not lie and say I am a WWE lifer. I absolutely love WWE. I've watched it, like I said, since 2005, religiously. Apart from the time I went to uni, it was hard to keep up with it all. And watching 3 hours of Raw each week when you're at uni and socialising and all that jazz. But anyway, about CM Punk, I think he is a massive hindrance to the company, and his attitude isn't good. I do think that Tony Khan should, tell him, like, you need to pack it in or you're gone. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what's happening. I don't know. There are reports that CM Punk said he's quit, but we'll see. There's always loads of reports, and the next thing you know, it wasn't true, or it wasn't 100% the facts. Not saying that the news outlets, they do really well. Like I follow them all, but sometimes because of our news cycle, it's like 24 hours, and with wrestling, it's like hour by hour. Sometimes things can get put in the media, and it's not 100% true. So I always try, and if I do see something, I'm like, okay, let's see what the situation is next week, rather than reacting to it straight away. So CM Punk, I will be gutted if he can't be All Out. I understand what he's done backstage is not good, but at the end of the day, I'm a wrestling fan, and I want to see CM Punk on the pay-per-view. I don't know what was planned. I can't believe they've had all in going into All Out. Anyway, let's see on the next episode about what's happened with CM Punk. So let's just go through the card. So I guess we should start with the 0 hour. We had MJF, Adam Cole defeating Aussie Open. For some reason, I thought Aussie Open would win. I didn't think MJF and Adam Cole would win. I thought they'd keep the titles on Aussie Open, but that wasn't the case. I'm no ROH fan. It's quite hard to watch that type of stuff in Britain and keep watching it. I know obviously there are people in Britain who do watch Ring of Honor, and good for you. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good match. It wasn't very long. It went 7 minutes 45. And I thought, it was what it was, wasn't it? It was a good opener, a happy opener. Next you had Hook versus Jack Perry, and Hook won by submission. I thought this was a good match. My seats were quite high up, so I'm not going to go too intricate on the detail of each match, because let's just say I couldn't see it very well. But next year, as I did say, All In will be there next year, and I might spend a pretty penny next year instead. This was a bit of a trial run for me, just to see, because there was no matches on the card, so I didn't want to spend loads. I knew obviously it'd be good, but I'm bad when it comes to money. You're not taking my money unless I know what I'm paying for. But yeah, so Hook won. Who knows whether that decision got changed due to what's been going on with Jack Perry and CM Punk before AEW All In, before this backstage brawl. Some people call them the Brawl In. But yeah, okay. See, I'm not very good at this because I wasn't really fussed. I don't really care. At the end of the day. And then we had CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. And oh my god, when CM Punk came out and just, hearing Cult of Personality, that was good stuff. The match was great. I loved CM Punk, being the heel in the match, really going into that. And Samoa Joe doing all this, It was a really good match. I actually really enjoyed it, and it was a good opener for the main show. And CM Punk doing the 5 moves of doom and doing the Hulk Hogan leg drop, very funny. I do think maybe CM Punk should just go all the way, just be a heel. With all this stuff about him in the news, just go heel, heel it up, baby. Because he's a good heel. But yeah, anyway, CM Punk won that for the Real World Championship. I didn't think Joe was going to win anyway, because it was for the Real World Championship. Maybe if it wasn't for the Real World Championship and it's just a grudge match, then maybe I thought Samoa Joe would win. But I think the Real World Championship is obviously staying on Punk to do something with MJF, which may have happened for Sunday, but actually isn't going to happen now because Punk has been suspended. But like I said earlier, we will wait and see. I mean, obviously we've got Dynamite tonight. Maybe I'll do some content about Dynamite tomorrow. Yeah. Then we had Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita against the Golden Elite. Now, this match was probably my least favourite. I don't know why, I just didn't click with it, and I didn't enjoy the finish. I can understand why the finish was like that with Takeshita pinning Omega, because they're probably going to fight at All Out. So that makes sense, but, you know, live in person, there was a part of me who was like, I'd love to have watched Kenny Omega against anyone, really, the Takeshita, you know, in a singles match. There was a lot of tag team and trio tag matches. But yeah, we'll see how that one was obviously to set up for the match at All Out, which hasn't been announced, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Then we had FTR versus Young Bucks, and like I said, I am mainly a WWE fan. I do watch AEW, let's say like it's a special show, or, you know, the go home show, or the show straight after. Like tonight I will be watching AEW just to see the fallout of it all, but I don't keep as invested as I do with WWE. Maybe you agree, like, once, you know, like there are episodes, you know, especially in 2019, I hated watching WWE, but I just couldn't stop watching it because it's just what I do, you know, it's what I do enjoy wrestling, and it's not the wrestlers when creative's bad, it's the higher ups. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. So yeah, FTR Young Bucks I thought was probably my favourite match of the night. And what I was trying to say is, like, I wasn't really expecting much. When I say I wasn't expecting much, I knew it'd be a great match. But me, as a wrestling fan who isn't as invested in the Young Bucks and FTR, I wasn't like buzzing to see it. But when I watched it, oh my god, it was great. Like, it was so good. I thought Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson were going to win. But they didn't. And yeah, so Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler won. The only reason I did think they might have, the Young Bucks may have won, is because of the incident with Cash Wheeler. And I thought maybe if they put the titles on the Young Bucks, then they can sort all the legal stuff out, you know, behind the scenes. Now, on to the Stadium Stampede. Fudge. That match was absolutely mental. Now, when I watched this show, when I watched the Stadium Stampede, and if you want to put in the comments below the other match like this, but it's not the Stadium Stampede, it doesn't really do much for me. I'm very sorry. There's just so much going on when you're watching it on TV, and you miss a lot of things, and it's just a bit too chaotic for me. But watching it at a stadium and seeing Claudio and Eddie Kingston over there, and seeing John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta over there, and just everything going on around, it was absolutely, I loved it. Like, it was the FTR match, CM Punk match, and Stadium Stampede, like, I thought was like fantastic. The Stadium Stampede was great, and then I think it was Claudio and Chuck Taylor were in the stands, and we could all see them like fighting. Where Mercedes Moné was sitting. Yeah, it was just great. And then you had Eddie Kingston walking back in at the end with his with the chair, and the spot at the end when John Moxley and Eddie Kingston go through the table, and you've just got Eddie Kingston putting his middle finger up at John Moxley at the end of the match. But yeah, Best Friends and Penta won, and Eddie Kingston. The Saraya, Tony Storm, Shida, Baker match was very good. Did I say Saraya? No, I usually say Saraya. I swear it is Saraya. I don't know why I said Saraya. I don't know why I just did that. Anyway, yeah, I thought that match was good. It was great seeing Saraya come out with her family to Queen. We Will Rock You. I really enjoyed that. I don't know whether Saraya winning this is the right thing long term, and like booking wise, to make the others look strong. Like Shida's only just won it and she's just been beaten. So you don't really want to see that. I don't really like seeing transitional champions. I do like long title reigns, but for it being in England and having Saraya's family there, yeah, it was the right decision for her to win. I can't imagine her having it for too long. I am from Norwich, so I always get a kick out of seeing Saraya and the Knight family. Yeah, she's probably the most famous person from here. So yeah, but yeah, as I said, for the night it was a good decision, but for the long term, for the title or championship, not a belt, damn it, I think it could have been or should have been Shida. Yeah. Next, we had the Darby Allin, Sting, Swerve Strickland, Christian Cage. I absolutely loved seeing Christian Cage come out. As I said, I am of the ruthless aggression era, PG era, TNA 2006-8 time. So it was really cool seeing Christian, and also knowing, like, what was it, 2014, 15, he had to retire. So in my eyes, I never thought I'd ever see Christian. And I know, like, maybe that's not a thing for a lot of people, but Christian is, like, up there as one of my faves, like, all-time, like, faves growing up. And then seeing Sting, oh my goodness. Now, that was cool. I kept thinking, like, that's Sting. That is Sting. But anyway, Sting and Darby Allin won that match. I knew they'd win, as it's a coffin match. Isn't that, like, Darby Allin's speciality? Yeah, good match. I loved when Darby Allin did the coffin drop on the coffin. Oh, that was painful. Sting doing the frog splash on Swerve through the table. Didn't work the first time, then the second time, bosh. Then obviously Sting got chucked into the coffin by Swerve Strickland, and he chucked his bat in. Swerve, shall I say, chucked his bat in, and yeah, he didn't get him in the coffin because little Sting's bat was hanging out, and then Swerve ended up going in the coffin, but his dreads were hanging out, so who knows, maybe, if we had VAR, maybe he wouldn't have won. Darby Allin and Sting, that is. Next, you had Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. Will Ospreay, oh my god, probably one of the best wrestlers in the world. Well, not probably. He is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and probably is the best wrestler in the world. Love seeing Chris Jericho. Love hearing him singing Judas. When you're like watching it on TV and you think, oh, for goodness sake, Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay, like, why would I want to see that? But when you see it in person, seeing the legend Chris Jericho and seeing Will Ospreay have his time to shine, and like really, I don't know why I'm proud of him. I've always been aware of Will Ospreay through his like matches with Ricochet, and then obviously a bit more since he's been coming on to AEW, and obviously him being from England, yeah, very proud. Then you had the Acclaimed and Anthony Max Caster's Prince Andrew line. Oh my god, everyone went, whoa, that was fun. I don't know whether this match should have been on the card. It could have been at All Out. I don't know whether it's necessary, but yeah, it was a good feel-good moment when the Acclaimed won, and when the House of Black came out, just before they came out, they had the lantern in honor of Bray Wyatt, and the whole stadium was doing the fireflies, so that was really nice to see. So yeah, the Acclaimed are your new trios champions. I don't know how long that will last. But yeah, next we had MJF versus Adam Cole. I loved this match. I loved this match because it had everything. It had work rate in it, and it had comedy in it, and it had all the bells and whistles. And the fact that no one knew who was going to turn, the fact that everyone thought someone was going to turn, but you didn't know who, and turned out neither of them turned. And just shows that friendship wins always. But it was really good, and it was really cool atmosphere, and MJF is so over. He is so over. And when Adam Cole was playing the heel in the match, like, he was being booed and MJF was being cheered. And even when MJF was doing heelish moves, he was still being cheered. I can't believe MJF is 26-7 and he's at this level now. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens next. It's a shame that CM Punk may not be at All Out, because I love watching CM Punk. Like, he's so good, but I've already said that. Yeah, so anyway, that was my thoughts on AEW All In at Wembley. They also announced at the end it's coming back next year. I think I've already mentioned that. And I am definitely going. And, you know, maybe I won't go on my own next time. But yeah, it was really good. So anyway, thanks for listening to my rambles. This was my first ever YouTube video, so don't tell me how awful I am. Like, I already know, you know. And even if you do tell me how awful I am, okay. But yeah, thanks very much. If you want to put in the comments anything that you want me to chat about, and if there's anything that I missed, or any critique that you have, like, bring it on, you know. Let me know. Obviously don't be racist, and don't be mean. I want positive criticism, okay? I don't want just negative stuff. And remember, just because I said I like WWE doesn't mean I don't like AEW, and because I've just done a review on AEW doesn't mean I don't like WWE. I will be doing a review of Payback next week. But anyway, thank you very much. Please subscribe if you liked it. I was going to say or don't, but that's not true. I do want you to subscribe. And thank you very much. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you.